the agent accountability program. I'm going to throw out an extra 5 points. Is that cool, Nancy?
Sounds great.
5 points for each of these 7 days activities that you do. So 35 points on the line if you want to take these and put them into practice right away. But all the things that I'm going to lay out over the course of the next 7 days isn't just busy work, right? There's a lot of things you can do in this industry, in this business, to keep yourself busy, but maybe it doesn't translate into actual transactions. And so I kind of reverse engineered using math that we know through different studies in the industry on how to guarantee business for yourself, right? This is the playbook I'm handing to you. And I can almost guarantee with a high level of certainty that if you go do this stuff, it's going to result in business. And this is the differentiator between agents that are willing to put in the work, who are selling real estate, and agents who find every excuse not to do the things that they need to do. This was a study that I think Tom Ferry's company did, but the top 10% of agents average about 20 to 25 conversations per deal that they close. The average agent needs 40 to 60 conversations. And the difference here is the top 10% of agents have a way better follow-up system in place, and they focus on the right leads at the right time. And so if you build this system and you know who to contact with what information or what value at what time, right? All you have to do is have 10 conversations per day. And you're on pace to add 1 new closing to your pipeline just about every single month. And that's consistency, right? We talk about this business can be kind of a roller coaster, but the top agents have such a strong system in place that their pipeline is consistently full. And so when they close one deal, they've got another one coming behind it. And it's a consistent pipeline, again, of deals that are closing. And so they don't get this roller coaster of a business. 80% of agents lose business because they fail to follow up after the first contact. I'm guilty of this. I'm sure you all have been guilty of this at times before, but you get an online lead, you try to reach out to them, they don't answer, you give up, right? There's a high probability that person eventually will go on to buy or sell real estate. It's just whether or not they're going to choose to do it with you. We know that the average online lead converts after 8 touches. Yet the majority of people fail to follow up after the first attempt. And so all those leads that are coming in that you're following up with once, maybe twice, 3 times on a good day, you're leaving money on the table, you're leaving opportunities, and you're leaving people that are needing to be served with your business, you're letting them go to somebody else. And so I'm going to throw this hard truth out there, right? When we talk about business planning and we talk about people who want to increase their business or sell more real estate, they always say, I need more leads. But the hard truth you need to hear this morning is you don't need more leads. You have plenty of leads coming in from the systems and the sources you already have in place and your sphere of influence and your network and your community. What you need is more conversations with the people who already trust you. There's a ton of real estate business out there to be had. It's whether or not you're willing to put in the work to make sure that that business comes to you instead of somebody else. And so here's what the 7-day pipeline looks like. I realize today is Tuesday, and so I probably should have started this week on Tuesday, but we'll just wrap it back around to the next week. But I want you to start off your Mondays by calling 20 past clients. Reconnecting with these people can warm up either their own real estate needs that they might be thinking about, or a ton of referral conversations. I think the stat is something like every single person knows 5 to 8 people that are going to buy or sell real estate over the course of a 12-month period. And so your past clients, I think a lot of us fail to call them or keep in touch because we go, oh, I sold them this house and this is their forever home. They're not going to do anything in real estate for the next 20 years. I don't need to waste my time on them. However, what you're giving up is all of the people that they know that are going to buy or sell real estate every single year. And this is really your gold mine, right? 68% of listings come from people who already know, like, and trust you. And these could be past clients who are selling the property that you sold them, or it's people in their networks that you are allowed to tap into because they're willing to give you that referral. So here's a quick script you could use. Um, I think this is a little bit creative, right? Even if you know that your client isn't going to sell the house that you sold them, um, ask them this, right? Hey, quick question. If your favorite neighbor moved out tomorrow, who do you want to replace them with? I'm trying to match some great families to great neighborhoods this month, right? And not only are they going to tell you, oh, I'd really love this person to live next door to me, but you'll start a conversation and they'll start naturally bringing up people that they know might be looking to buy a house. And so if they say something like, oh man, my best friend Steve, he and his wife are having a baby, and I know they're going to be looking for a house. It'd be awesome if they lived next door. So if they bring somebody up, right, ask them, would you mind if I reached out to Steve and shared this fun conversation we had? Again, I'm just trying to connect people. Maybe we can make your dream a reality, and I can find a house in your neighborhood for Steve and his family. Right? It's a low pressure, kind of a fun conversation, but it naturally brings up people that your sphere might know who want to buy or sell a house. And so as you're going through these, calling your 20 past clients, and again, I put 20 here for the sake of numbers. If you don't have 20 past clients, feel free to use a number that works for you and your business. But I'd recommend at least 10. Try to find 10 people. If you're on a team, try to leverage some of your team as well. But as you're making these calls, right, a little bit bonus, post a selfie or post a picture of your desk as you're making these calls. And post it on social media with this caption, right? I'm reaching out to my past clients today because the best new clients come from the people who I have already worked with, or what. I don't like how this actually says, but again, who would you want as your next door neighbor? Try to generate some social engagement using that same question that you're calling your past clients with. Tuesday, so this is what we can start with today. I want you to send 5 unsolicited CMAs. So these aren't people that you've reached out to and said, hey, the market's changed. Do you want me to send you a valuation of your home? And they've said yes. These are unsolicited. This is a value add that's a surprise to their inbox. But this is how you can kind of re-engage some of those cold leads. And it's not about selling, right? Your intent here isn't to send them a CMA and then get the listing next week. It's about serving the value. So if and when they do want to sell, they know that you're the agent that's going to lead with service and value first. So pick 5 sellers that you know, or 5 homeowners. If you're pulling from your list of past clients, try to look for people that bought their house between 2020 and 2022. They could be sitting on a ton of equity. They also could have been one of the group of people that had to pay a lot over asking for their house and might need to kind of right size some finances. So look for agents, sellers in that, sellers who purchased, let's say, 3 to 5 years ago. Or choose sellers that are in a target area that you're trying to tap into. Maybe it's a neighborhood, maybe it's a different community. But record your CMA as a screen flow. And there's a number of different ways you can do this in platforms and programs out there. But show them how you're getting to their home's estimated value and click through a lot of the different recent sales that have happened in their neighborhood. As you're recording your screen, talk through them, explain what they mean and how it relates to their property specifically. And then send it and follow up with them, right? Title it something like quick market update for you, and then track the opens on it. If you use a platform like BombBomb, that makes it really easy. But open the video and just say, hey, hey, Steve, I just pulled a quick update for your home. These are the most recent sales in your neighborhood. It looks like values are staying steady around X. Hypothetically, if you were thinking about selling your house right now, I think you'd land roughly in that range. Wanted to keep you in the loop and help you understand how I got to this value, and then walk them through the screen recorded CMA. Has anybody ever tried this before? Or do you just do the traditional like printout CMAs? Nobody? Amy Voigt is my accountability partner on our call last week. We were talking about sending CMAs. Again, it's great this time of year to do it as people are thinking about taxes and whatnot. But we went back and forth on, do you get more engagement if you send them an email, or do you get more engagement if you print it off and send it to them in the mail or drop it off? But I think this is, especially if you're using some sort of technology where you can track the opens on it, kind of a creative way to see how they're interacting with the CMA.
I just did one for actually a buyer of mine who is doing a complete like gut remodel. So I just, obviously it's a very, very vague CMA, but they have plans. So I guess I was able to use those and just help obviously give them a really good idea of what it would be worth when they're finished. And they're hoping for 6 months from now. So it was kind of like a good timeline to give them.
Yeah, that's awesome. Great job. Okay, moving on quick. Wednesday. 2 or 5 active listings and create a reel that you can post on social media about it. Again, if there's not 5 houses you want to tour, try to find 2 or 3. I don't know if they're still doing tour in Baraboo. In Sauk, they do it on Tuesdays. So again, you can flex this per the day a week, or find a few different houses that might be vacant that you can go tour. Film them as you're going through them, and create your reel around a topic, something like, right, here's what $300,000 can buy you in Baraboo right now. Right, again, this is just a value add video to post on social media to help establish yourself as the expert who knows the market that you're trying to generate buyer and seller leads in. Agents who post 2 value-based videos per week generate 3 times more inbound direct messages related to real estate. So again, this stuff works, right? The numbers, the data is there. You just have to do the work. 70% of consumers in a recent NAR study also say that video helped them feel more connected to the agent. Again, it wasn't just a faceless transaction where you're texting or calling back and forth, but video really allowed the general consumer to feel connected to their agent and feel like they knew them even before they chose to start working with them. And so your content, right, helps keep the conversation going on, a social platform long after your phone calls or text messages or emails end. Thursday, this is one that I don't see a lot of agents doing, but host a Zoom or a Facebook Live or some sort of online training. I gave you one topic here. You can do it on whatever you want, but a lot of conversation I'm sure you guys have had with buyers right now is, should I buy now and refinance later? Should I buy the house and date the rate, right? We've all heard that. But this could be a really quick, it doesn't have to be, a hour-long Zoom training. It could be a 20-minute Zoom training, 3 to 5, slides showing real local examples, how seller credits can affect affordability. What does the math look like on refinancing? Put together a really short presentation that just lays it out. So again, you're the expert who actually knows what this stuff means, and you're not just another agent throwing a, cliche tagline around. Blast out the training invite to your database. Share it on social media. Try to get people to join it. Also, make sure you record it so that you can send it out to people after if they, weren't able to attend the live training. Again, we're seeing a lot of, maybe not a lot right now, but probably an increase in seller credits. And so as part of the training that you do, explain what a 2 to 3% seller credit does to payment, how refinancing later changes numbers. Again, I think a lot of buyers in the marketplace who are maybe sitting on the fence because of rates or have heard this, buy now, refinance later tagline, don't exactly know what it means. So there's a huge opportunity for you to be the expert in the marketplace who gives them the information that they're looking for. And if you can make it make sense to them and the numbers work out for their personal situation, right, it's a great way to generate buyer leads and get those people off the fence and actually into the market to look for deals. Again, during the call, you use real houses in the marketplace. Pick a house that's at right 300,000 and whatever the rate is today, let's call it 6%. Explain, like, use the real numbers on that. This is what this would look like. This is what a monthly mortgage payment would look like. Again, kind of hypothetically, because you're not a lender and you don't know the buyer's specific financial situation, but use the data that's in our marketplace to explain what you're trying to convey to the buyers. Fridays. So if you're going to do an open house, host a Friday only or a neighbor only event Friday night. So start by Wednesday or Thursday and hand deliver invites to the neighbors. Hey, I'd love to give you a sneak peek and a chance to pick your new neighbors. I'm having an open house this weekend when the market's going to come through, but wanted to make sure you got the first look at it. This could be a quick, hour and a half long event. Happy hour, snacks, viewing. Create a warm and welcoming atmosphere and let the neighbors come through so that when you do host your open house over the weekend, you're not wasting your time there talking to the neighbors who inevitably are going to come through anyways. And you're talking to the real consumers who are there to see the house. Capture leads at an event like this, right? Even if the neighbors have no interest in buying or selling, we know that neighbors are nosy and they love to know what is selling in their neighborhood for what price because they know it impacts the value of their own home. And so capture those leads and continue to provide them value. Make sure you follow up with them. Make sure you put them into your CRM so that when the property that you're currently showcasing does sell, you can follow up with them and then watch that marketplace and make sure you're following up every time another property turns over. It's a really great way to build kind of hyper local credibility and create those future listing appointments. We talk about farming neighborhoods a lot, and this is one of the best ways to do it. If you can establish yourself as the expert and the go-to agent before they're even thinking about selling their house, and you consistently make sure you follow up with them and you're in contact and you're providing value, when they do want to go sell, they're not going to have another choice but to work with you because you've provided them so much value. Saturday, if you're taking buyers on tours over the weekend, show up with a printed offer strategy for the properties that you're going to show them, right? Even if they're not ready to write an offer, showing up with a game plan already in place demonstrates that you're thinking ahead, right? You're going to be able to answer the questions that they will have when they are ready to write well before those questions even came up. So include something on the sheet, right? Like, okay, what does this house look like if rates drop by 0.5%? What is our target monthly payment breakdown on each of the houses we're going to look at? Maybe 3 quick negotiation levers they can use. So understanding the properties before you open the door for them can help you better, right? Explain maybe this house needs some updates or it's had some inspection issues, and what are these levers we can use? It's been on the market for a while. Maybe we can, negotiate with the seller a rate buy down or a closing cost credit. Having a game plan in place before they look at a house, again, shows that you came prepared and you're not just an agent there who's opening a super and unlocking a door, but you're really understanding the process that they're going through and providing them value all along the way. And then Sunday, I think this is the most critical day of the week. And I'm going to do a full section in our business planning, which is next week, on how to master your Sundays. I think if you don't control your Sundays, your week can go to hell in a handbasket really quick. And so I'm not telling you to work all day Sunday. I think you should take time for yourself and your family on Sundays. But carve out 20 minutes just to set yourself up for a successful week. List your top 10 people that you need to contact, starting Monday morning. This could be active buyers, leads that you're nurturing, past clients that you need to re-engage with. Pick a top 10 target list of people that you need to contact the next week and define what you need to do, right? Do I need to follow up with a call? Are they waiting on a CMA for me? Do I need to schedule showings? Do I need to talk about an offer strategy, or do I just need to check in? Figure out for that list of your top 10 people what action needs to be taken. And then make sure you know what you're going to say when you call these people. Again, if you're prepared to provide them what they're looking for and you know what you're going to say, it takes that fear of the phone out of the equation because you're prepared, right? You know what you're going to say, you know what you need to say. Now you just have to go execute and you don't have to think about it. Right? If you're just calling to check in, say something like, hey, Steve, I was just mapping out my week and you came to mind. I'm currently wondering where you're at in your home plans. Are you still thinking about the spring? Or are you watching what's happening right now? Again, it keeps you top of mind without being pushy and saying like, hey, Steve, I need you to make a decision because you're wasting my time if you don't get back to me. Right? You're offering help, you're providing value, and you're leading with service. You're not out there hunting for business. And I promise you, if you can lead with service and value first, the sales are going to come on the back end. It's just natural. And so this is why these 7-day sprints work, right? Because it allows you to reflect, refocus, and prepare yourself for the week ahead. And so your Sunday planning turns that Monday morning chaos into Monday momentum. You can hit the ground running. You know exactly what you need to do, who you need to contact, when you need to contact them, and what you need to contact them about. And so you become in full control of your week ahead. The better you can prepare, the better you can be consistent on the actions that you know you need to take every single day. The business is going to come because it's the agents that show up consistently and with consistent effort and energy that are the ones closing the deal. Because again, like we talked about at the beginning, this business is stupid simple at times, right? If you can have enough conversations that you need to have, you're going to generate business. It's I promise you it's as simple as that. If you need more leads, have more conversations, reach out to more people, provide value, lead with service, ask who they're, in their network might be buying or selling. And there's enough business out there if you just do these things to put at least another closing in your pipeline every single month. But it's up to you to wake up every Monday morning with a plan in place and the desire to make it happen. Any questions?
No, thank you for all the ideas.
Go get them.
Sounds good. Everybody have a great day.
Yep. Thanks, everybody.
You.